Hi guys, August Love Story here. We are back for Married at First Sight, season 11, episode 14, and it is called Stranger Spouse. You know what I didn't do? And I don't do in these videos? I never introduce us.
You don't.
Artieka here.
Tommy.
August Love Story.
The podcast.
Married at First Sight, episode 14.
Yeah.
All right. So we did find out in today's episode, because I don't remember if they made it clear in the last episode, that there's 16 total weeks to this experiment instead of 8 because of COVID. Yeah. And they are now on week 14. So there's still 2 weeks to go. I couldn't remember if we truly realized the number of weeks, but today it was made plain and simple.
Yeah.
16 weeks. We're on week 14. So there's 2 weeks to decision day. And this is the episode with the couples retreat.
Yeah.
Go ahead and start with Olivia and Brett and get them over with.
All right, go for it.
Brett's already gone, wasn't in the episode. Really not much to say about him. Amani came over with margaritas to help Olivia pack. It's not funny, but I laughed a little bit when she said that she gave Brett scotch with, and you missed this part because we had some technical difficulties when we first started the episode. But Olivia gave Brett some scotch and some glasses, and he took the scotch and left the glasses and said, "I have glasses at my house."
He left her a note?
No, like she called him and told him
that
he left the glasses, and he literally was like, "I already have glasses at my house."
He could have took the glasses, man. Just take the whole gift, man.
It's not funny.
Right.
But it's like,
what's she gonna do with the glasses?
It's like, Brett, you are a butthole.
Yeah.
And it's like, just
take the glasses. You know what that was for.
And the last thing that I have to say about the two of them as a couple was that when we got to the retreat and they had the awkward moment talking about Olivia and Brett not being there, Christina's random breakdown, giving her
that.
I do not know. She gave her thoughts on Brett being a butthole, and when she cried, Bennett, in true Bennett fashion, handed her a single napkin because he only uses one toilet paper square. So why would she need more than one napkin?
He's not wasteful.
He's not. You got anything for Olivia and Brett?
I didn't know they was on the episode.
Oh yeah, because
again, I was like, why are we talking about them again?
Again, it was random beginning of the episode. I think we were both all in probably about the 12-minute mark of the episode. Yeah. All right. So next up, we can talk about Christina and Henry. So we open with Woody talking to Henry. Woody came over to their place, and Henry let him know that Christina was lying on him. He did a few flashbacks to Christina saying she was a liar and her melodramatic breakdowns that she likes to do. And Henry said to Woody that he felt like Christina was trying to push him away because he's not into her. Mm-hmm. I thought that was interesting, that he feels that she's pushing him away so that she doesn't have to be rejected. Because that's essentially what he was saying.
Yeah.
We fast forward from that conversation into them arriving to the retreat. They look around, they pick their cabin or whatever we're calling these spaces, because they weren't truly cabins.
No, they was
what I call cabins.
They was just houses in the wood.
Yeah. They sat down and had a conversation. I can't remember what got them on this topic, but I did write down that I felt like Christina was doing a dig at Henry because she mentioned about lean pockets. And they were like, what's a lean pocket? Like a hot pocket? She was like, yeah, but for someone that's watching their figure, or what she said something along those lines. And it felt like it was truly a dig at him.
Yeah, I felt that way too. I was like, man, Christina is like...
she's really turning into a mean girl to Henry.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. They get on the subject of Amelia and Bennett moving to Virginia. And she says that she doesn't think that she could move with her spouse like Bennett is doing. And girl, that's literally marriage.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, you got to make compromises because think about it. If you want it to work the way that they're in the situation now, you're going to have to do something. Bennett can't say, I want to be with you, but then I'm not going to Virginia with you.
Yeah, and she's not going to give up.
That'll be silly
however
of her
many years
right.
of school that she's known she's wanted to be a doctor. And then she's faced with her residency and her husband that she just met 14 weeks ago is like, no.
No, she
you either go or you don't. Like,
right. I think for the most part, Christina needs to worry about her. And this comes up again. Christina, yeah, she needs to worry about her relationship and her marriage with Henry, because I feel like she's looking at it at this point as, well, I know mine's not going to work, so let me inject myself into everybody else's.
Mm-hmm.
So just watching it, like she did the ultimate there's no comeback from. Like she called this man gay after she was upset about something.
Yeah, I don't understand why the dig at him. And a lot of you guys, or not a lot of you guys, there was like 2 people that mentioned about them getting paid at the ending of the show. And like, I hope that's not why she's sticking it out. I mean, it looks like it.
At this point, it's awkward.
Yeah, but it's like, play nice so you at least don't appear like crazy on TV.
Right, because both of them appears crazy. Because I believe everybody else has realized, yeah, they ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, like there's been various conversations about them not making
it. Like they just not gonna make it. And, you know, it sucks, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It is what it is on that regard. But Miles asked, I think it was Miles that asked this question.
About growth?
Miles said, have you got any clarity lately talking to Henry? And what stood out to me in that question was Henry's initial reaction was, yeah, I got some clarity.
Got some clarity. I don't want to be with her.
I don't want to be with her. But he went on and said something. And even in that sequence, Bennett was like, I have no clue what he's talking about. But yeah,
because Bennett was like,
yeah.
Like okay.
Like everybody knows, like, yeah, Henry and Christina probably not going to make it, man. And they just kind of riding the wave. They got to go on a little vacation, got to see some people that they like, and they going to move on. Yeah, that's all the notes I got on them.
The only thing other than what we've said already that I wrote down about them was that when he did chat with the guys, he said he does notice a lot of dishonesty.
Oh, yeah.
And
lying too.
And when the girls were chatting, Christina said that she doesn't know him. And Amani smiled at her like, girl, you full of crap. And Amelia smiled at her like, I don't know why you're still talking.
Amelia gave her that smile like Craig mama for Friday.
Okay. She did. Bennett said that everything that Henry said was confusing and contradictory. Right. I love Bennett's tell it like it is.
Tell it like it is.
I was watching someone else's reviews of like about Married at First Sight this season, and they said that one thing that they enjoyed about Bennett was that he was always honest. Yeah. He just humors. He like talks up the humor in his honesty, because like he smiles and he laughs as if it's like an awkward moment, but he's telling the truth. Like, this is confusing and it is contradictory. Like, there's no lie there.
Oh, one thing I wanted to say about Henry and Christina is Henry, like us, a lot of people, I was reading the comments, like somebody was talking about Henry. Mm-hmm. Yes, Henry has made this process very difficult.
A lot more difficult than it needs to be.
Than it needs to be for Christina. But as well, Christina has shown her colors. And I think it's more of a character flaw in her to sit up, be untruthful, and everything.
Lie.
Yeah, basically. And it's you have to step out your comfort zone to do this. And yes, Henry has made this more difficult than it needs to be. But I mean, Christina, on the other hand, has made it more difficult. And I feel like Christina has, I don't want to say embarrassed herself, but she has made herself a target, for lack of better words, in a lot of the conversations between a lot of the interactions between them and within the group. Because her crying when talking about Olivia and Brett, like, that's uncalled for.
It's very awkward. I don't do well with people crying in general, and that probably would have just been like,
"What are you
girl,
like?"
What is wrong with you?
My initial reaction would have been, if I was at that table, "Why are you crying?" like I would not have held my tongue. That's what I got. That's what I got.
All right, next couple. I got Amelia and Bennett. So apparently they have been to Virginia.
Yep.
I guess they scoped out the scene, found a place,
Makes
things
sense.
of that nature, which is what you do when you're about to embark on a new journey in a new state.
Right.
Miles was about to share some news or ask a question, and Bennett interrupted and says that they finally had sex.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very awkward.
It was.
But it was very Bennett.
It was definitely very Bennett. Amelia probably was blushing over there.
I'm sure she was. Cheeks were very rosy and things of that nature. Miles then went into the conversation. Well, I guess we can leave that for Karen and Miles' section. Yeah. Let's see. The next thing that I wrote about was Amelia has been singing in her sleep. And while she was singing in her sleep, Bennett was practicing his worm.
That's what that was.
That's what he called it. Him and his dress were practicing his worm. Yeah. So he has not perfected his worm, but he's working on it.
And it still needs some work.
Yes, he hasn't perfected it. So the next thing that we see is them writing letters to their younger selves. Amelia's letter, I think she said, was to her 11-year-old self. 12-year-old self.
Yep.
Her 12-year-old self, the letter to herself was very sweet. Talked about Bennett at the end, how she would never be able to imagine how her wedding was going to be. And it was just like warm and fuzzy feelings if you were on the receiving end of that.
Right.
Bennett wrote a long note about his friend essentially stealing his Pokemon card that is now worth $20,000.
Yeah. And Bennett, another thing we found out is Bennett makes less than $20,000.
He does.
So I see why he's like, well, yeah, I go to Virginia. That's a make sense call.
I mean, I wouldn't see why he wouldn't for any other reason, but you know.
But Amelia got offended. Also, Bennett likes blue ink as well. Pays attention to that. But Amelia got offended because he didn't, in his letter, he didn't mention her. Which
I get why she got offended, because the entire point of this exercise was to write letters to your younger self so that your spouse could get a little bit more insight about you, but also like tying it into like the journey of the relationship. Or at least that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
And that's how Amelia saw it, but not how Bennett saw it.
Right.
And he was just like, you're great too.
Right, you're awesome, but I had to tell myself this. It was to his 9-year-old.
Yeah, it was to his 9-year-old self.
No, I think honestly that was a great exercise. I personally want to do that with us, man.
Are you gonna write about me, or are you gonna write about something that happened?
I definitely got some stuff to tell my younger self. Like, hey, watch out for this.
I can only imagine.
I wanted to talk about these stretches that they was doing. I felt like they was doing like dances.
They look like Aunt V on the episode of Fresh Prince.
Where she fell out at the end.
That's what they look like. Just less coordinated.
Right. I felt like they was doing they had just saw the Thriller video for the first time and they went outside to go do the dances.
Clap.
So, also Amelia was killing Bennett in horse.
She was.
Like,
you know why? She aimed at the square.
Yeah, that's probably it.
He was just throwing the ball aimlessly, and she was aiming. What else you got? Because I'm kind of done with them.
Yeah, I'm pretty much done with them, man.
I just wrote down that they had the same hairstyle and that he sang a lullaby about a tiny bee.
He did. And what was that in the bed with them at the end? Some cookies and what else?
A snake.
Yeah.
A stuffed snake. I don't know where the snake came from. Whatever.
Or why it was there.
Again.
But
whatever.
I digress.
Next up, we're gonna talk about Karen and Miles. So the first thing I wrote down was about Miles sitting at the table and talking about the racial injustices that are going on, which I'm sure that this happened around the time of George Floyd being murdered, and then all of the protests that happened subsequently after that. And I think it was great that he was able to have that conversation, because typically those types of things, especially being in the pandemic, are reserved for just people that you like intimately know. Right. And usually you're on the same page as people that are like in your intimate personal life. Yeah. Like, I don't have to explain to another Black person why I feel the way that I feel, but he was able to have a small open forum and convey his feelings, even though they were condensed in the editing. Yeah. He was able to convey his feelings about the racial injustices, and Karen actually looked like she was proud of her husband for having something to say. How things have changed in one episode. Plus him saying, I don't know if I really want to be with you. Right. I digress. They went outside and they played ladder golf. Apparently, I don't think they wrote the letters to their younger selves, or did I miss that?
They didn't.
So their activity was ladder golf, and they were like just basically being in motion and having a conversation with each other.
Because we know that they're the only couple that is
we don't
know their answer. And so I think
some drastically changes.
Right. I think that's the reason why they were like, hey, let's go play this game, and so we can get to know each other a little bit better. You know, Karen has, like you said earlier, her attitude has changed a lot in this episode, and we can see it because now she's looking more so at wanting to have a natural conversation with him, wanting to actually get to know him. And Miles is just like giving her the, I don't know.
I think it's a little bit of that is because there was a lot of uncertainty, like just before what should have been decision day with the pandemic. And then now they actually have a deadline again. Yeah. Like, we know that there are X amount of days to decision day. Yeah. So it's like, I'm not going to say that this is her motive, but it feels as if she doesn't want to look like she was left on decision day.
And that's another thing,
so she's
going
to try.
She's definitely gone. Yeah, that was another thing, too. I was like thinking about was like, I ain't going to say it's a control thing, but she wants to be the reason why they don't stay together, or the reason why they stay together, because
she wants to have the final say so, is what you're saying.
Yeah, okay. Because, you know, from before the last episode, and I'm assuming her, or what they depicted from her, we always like, yeah, Miles is going to say yes for sure.
Like, she had the upper hand in the relationship.
Right. But now it's a possibility that Miles don't say, you know, will possibly say no. It's why is it that he don't want to be with me? You know, what am I doing wrong? Now it's starting to check herself. You know, and so we're getting an opportunity to see a better conversation between them, a better interaction between them on camera and everything like that. So
still no hugs and kisses, but
right, and that's a huge one, man. Miles was talking to Woody about it, and Woody was just telling Miles all bad advice. I felt because no, it's not all about sex, and the fact that Miles was able to respect it and do what he needs to do to blow off the steam, because they said Miles lost a little 20 pounds.
I mean,
sheesh, I gained 20 in this pandemic. But
I guess when you look at it from Woody's standpoint of everything is roses unless you're trying to see his DMs, why you not having sex?
Right.
And I mean, the other couple other than Woody and Amani that are potentially doing well have also had sex.
Right.
So it's kind of like the ones that are seeing this beyond decision day that are skewing that way have had sex. And they're like in the middle where he's like, I want to, but she's just not giving me anything. And Christina just wants to because she just wants to. Yeah. And Olivia and Brett are done. Yeah. They're done, son.
But also, Miles said something that I always felt like it's important that a lot of people don't pay attention to, which is Miles want to be wanted by Karen. And that feeling there is a tough one. 'Cause I've been there before where, you just feel like you want somebody to want you too.
Like you want them a lot and they're just kind of like,
he's here.
Yeah.
And that's the way Miles is portraying his feelings to be, like he's just here. They're kissing here and there. They're not hugging. Of course, they're not having sex, but everything is initiated off of him. So what happens when he stops?
Right. Like, do they just become people that live in the same house?
Right.
Until decision day.
Right. And then they move on with their lives. I think they, if anything, they will become good friends.
I don't know, because she don't like the fact that he called her sus.
I don't know. But anyway. I would think they would.
You got anything else about them?
They won the game.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the game. The game was called Stranger Spouse.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like a really fun activity.
And
we actually went through some of the questions with each other. And it was funny. There was one question they gave 2 options on. And I was like, neither one of those is my husband. Can we insert an answer? We would have gotten the answer right because I know you in that regard. But the answer choices that they gave were not right.
Yeah.
But I think that would be a really fun game to play with friends. And we need to arrange that in our lives.
We're definitely going to get us a little, what they call marriage retreats?
Couples retreat. Because everybody's not married. That's our
we're going to get us a little couples retreat going.
Yeah.
After this pandemic, some point in time.
With no kids.
Yeah, no kids.
That's the rule. Okay. You got anything else for them?
No, that's it.
All right.
But no, I do have one thing. Proud of you, Karen. Killer. Ain't that what he called her?
He called her Killer. And she wrote Killer on her thing on one of the questions. She was like, me. And then she put in parentheses, Killer.
Right. So I'm proud
that was about them being neat.
Yeah. So I'm proud of Karen. Like, everybody gives Karen the business.
They do.
Like, every week.
They do.
And
kudos to you, Karen.
Kudos to Karen this week.
All right. So last but not least is Amani and Woody. The very first thing that I wrote down was Woody needs closed captioning.
Yeah, he need to open his mouth when he talks.
Now, as a person that has lived in Louisiana, I know that, and I have a very thick Southern accent in general, but New Orleans people have a thicker accent.
Yeah.
And I could understand people when I was in New Orleans, or I didn't live there, but visiting there. But I don't know what Woody is saying a lot of the time. Like, they had to put captions on the screen at one point when they were laying in the bed talking. I was like, what did he say? How do you understand him?
Man, like, I don't know, man. I realized, I was like, Woody don't open his mouth all the way. And sometimes I do that myself.
You do.
Yeah, I know. I can understand that. But yeah, it'd be times I'd be like, dang, I don't know what he said.
I don't know. We were looking at each other a lot like, huh? What did he say?
But my first note is they're doing really good.
They are. Oh, Amani said something, and it was to Miles, but then she backed it up with a Woody compliment that is similar to what I say to you. She said that Miles was the best dishwasher that they've ever had, and that Woody is the best husband that she's ever had. And I was like, Tommy is my favorite husband.
Right.
I call him that all the time, and people are always like, why is he your favorite husband? I'm like, by default. Yeah. He's the only one I have, so he has to be my favorite.
Exactly.
So, cool. Let's see. Do you have anything in between that conversation and them playing dominoes?
Possibly.
Okay, go ahead. What you got?
Amani, I think Amani was talking with the girls, Amelia and Christina.
Because Karen wasn't there.
Yeah. And she was like, I noticed that she was dreaming with Woody. Mm-hmm. I really, really like that. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the more important things when it comes to marriage. I know between you and I is that we dream together. Therefore, we're going towards the same goals. Mm-hmm.
Even if the goals are like something that I want for myself or something that you want for yourself, we find a way to incorporate the other person into the goal.
Yeah. So I think that it works two ways. It works for on a relationship glance, as well as on we're a team, we're a unit, and we got to work together type of deal. So that was one of the things I noticed when they were all talking with each other.
I didn't notice that. That's cool that you saw that. So the next thing that I wrote was about them playing dominoes, and if she won, she wanted another voucher.
Yeah.
And he wanted a massage. I remember I didn't make you coupons, but I made you like a date night voucher that we just found almost 2 years later. He never cashed in. I think I gave that to you right before we found out I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Literally
a Christmas gift.
Yeah. Right? And we found out I was pregnant the week of Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know where it is right now. So
it's in here somewhere.
Hope it doesn't have an expiration date on it.
Does it?
Don't remember. You don't remember.
Oh, man.
So during the conversation, I think this was during the conversation with Miles, or it might have been the conversation with the guys. No, I take that back. It was with Amani. Woody said that they have taken on a lot of the hard conversations to get to where they are. And they talked about what would make them say no on decision day. I don't like that the producers try to, I get it because it's a TV show. But they try to make it seem like there's so much up in the airness about decision day. And we know that Amani and Woody are working towards building a life together. Yeah. Something huge has to happen for that to not be a thing. And I feel like he's always on the page of we're going to be together. Let's just move on. Let's not play with this ambiguity stuff in the middle. There's no gray. We're black and white. We're staying together. And she's like, well, what if? And he's like, I don't play that what if game. So I don't like that regard, but I get it because it is a produced television show. But it's okay to be talking about building a life together. Nobody's going to be surprised if they stay together. Yeah. It's the expectation at this point. And just saying that just makes it seem like it's being annoying to him. And I don't like to see people that are married annoyed about stuff that they don't have to be annoyed about. Yeah. Simple things.
Right.
And that's something simple. Let's not pretend like we're not building a life together because we are.
Because they definitely are. Again, I say I don't agree with Woody and his advice about the sex thing because sex is the bonus for everything.
Woody gave a very terrible analogy, and I I can't remember what it was at this point. But essentially, like, he was just all over the place when it came to sex. He was saying that he needed to know, what if it was bad and then you're not going to like the person?
Like, it's a learned behavior. But anyway, that's another conversation.
It was just like...
It's the most natural thing we can do as human beings. But you can learn to get better with your spouse.
Yeah, like, you figure it out.
Yeah, definitely.
And... on top of like figuring it all out, like, it's hard and it's so difficult when you're going through something to take advice from a person that's extremely happy in their situation, because Woody's getting booty on the regular. Yeah. Like,
Miles up here running miles, man.
Yeah,
to relieve the stress.
Like, he losing weight, trying to get some. He trying to be fine for his wife, and Woody's like, my wife already like this. So, I mean, it's extremely difficult to go through those motions with somebody. I mean, it's great to have someone that you can like confide in and that's going through the exact same thing as you, and the added bonus is that they knew you before.
Yeah. So
it's not like they're just like dealing with this representative of you. Mm-hmm. They know you.
Yeah.
So I think that works out for them. But Miles, just whoever Miles has been talking to that like help him light some fire under Karen's, but keep talking to them.
Yeah.
Hopefully it was Pastor Cal, because you need the Lord to guide you and he can be the vessel. That's all I got.
Only other thing I was going to say was Woody really hated losing to Miles and Karen.
He did. He really was like, I can't believe we lost to them. And I mean, I get it, because if it's a couple that you're like, you don't see a future for them, you're like, how do they know each other better than we do?
Right.
So it is what it is.
But that's all I have.
All right, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Yep.
Like this video.
Like it.
Turn on the notification bell. Sorry we did not get out an August Love Story podcast episode this week. Life. It's a lot going on in our house. Like, I'm proud of us for getting out these Married at First Sight reviews every week on time, because that is a feat in and of itself. But yeah, we'll be back next week with August Love Story, of course, with Married at First Sight. You got anything else?
Nope. That's it.
All right. That's it. Bye, guys.
All right, guys. Peace.